Hello and welcome back to another early access video of the Horse Ranch expansion pack, and today we are going to be building a starter ranch home, which I'm super excited for, and I've got back into building since this pack has come out because it's just given me a new lease of life. So don't forget to give this video a big like already if you have not, and I hope that you enjoy the video. So I've already built quite a big horse ranch and that went quite well. I was quite happy with how it turned out. But then after doing that, I was still in a bit of a build mode. I had an urge to just keep building. So I thought, we've done a fairly big build, so why don't we do a small build? And this is a starter home, and it is on the smallest lot that comes with Chestnut Ridge, which I think is 20 by 20, and it is up in the top neighborhood. So if you do want to download this build, it will be on my gallery once. It should be on my gallery now, actually. As soon as the pack comes out, this will be on my gallery. So definitely check that out if you are looking for a starter home for your Sims. I think it comes in at 19,000 simoleons. So just the right amount for a starter home for your Sims. And I just loved doing this. And I already even have so many more ideas. Now that I've built a big house, now that I've built a small house, I still am left with lots of ideas I would like to try. So if you do want to see me doing some more builds here on my YouTube channel, please do let me know, because this pack is just, I'm thriving with it. But this is how the build has gone. I did a small little kind of ranch house, and then I wanted to add a little space for one horsey to stay in. I thought that if you're going to be living in a small house like this, you're probably not going to be, well, you might be a wild horse mum and, you know, have loads of 7 horses to fit the house. But if you do decide to do that, then you can extend and you can add more places for the horses to live if you want. But I kind of envision this as somebody moving in to their first home, perhaps with one horse, and then maybe expanding and building on that. So we've got a little area for the horse over on the right, where I do end up putting, I believe, some of the training things. Actually, I think I put that behind the actual build itself. So there is a space to train them with the barrels. And then just have the build be a bit of a cozy home, a bit of a nice home to start your time in Chestnut Ridge. And I just loved it. I used a lot of debug in this build. So the free debug items came in great, because obviously when you're doing a start home, you were trying to save as much money as possible. So in terms of landscaping and trees and plants, this is all debug. You've got hay bales in debugs as well. I love this bush too. And what I tried to do with this build and my previous one, if you haven't seen the previous one, that was yesterday's video. So definitely check that out, because I was really proud of how that turned out and how that ended up looking. So do be sure to check that out. But anyway, with this build and the last build, debug came in so handy, because there is so much. I mean, let alone just in the build buy and the generic build buy that comes with this house. There is so much, but then to add the debug items on too, it was just great. And I had a great time putting these builds together and just trying out a new style of build, which is so different to what I would normally do. I also, not only have I done some builds, but I also have done a full, really long length video, nearly an hour of an early access, where I go through everything in this pack. So I go through all of the CAS items, I go through all of the build items, the different things that I've heard from Sim gurus and have been told. So lots and lots of questions that you might have that are answered in the previous videos, this one and the last one as well. So even when I was building the last place, I answered a couple of popular questions that I've seen around. But moving back over to this particular build, I just loved doing a starter home again. I loved going a bit out of my comfort zone and doing a build that I'm not so used to. I think years ago I built a saloon in Oasis Springs, and that is probably the vast amount of time that I've put into maybe like a Texan or a Western style of home. So this is completely different, but I think you can get so inspired by build items in The Sims. So just seeing the build items that came with this pack literally gave me some inspiration for what kind of a build that I wanted to do. I then had a little look on Pinterest to just sort of see the style, so I didn't veer too far off what they kind of look like. And I think I did an okay job for someone that's really never seen a house like this in person and has just kind of seen it in photos or, you know, in films and movies and everything. I don't think I did too bad. So yeah, a lot of the landscaping was free and I used debug. And then moving on into the interior, it was quite small. It was obviously quite a small space to work with, going from the build that I did previously and having a fairly big open space to kind of design and do what I wanted to do, to then go to this where it's not that big, was quite difficult, but I think I made it work. This is a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom home. It is a double bedroom, and I'm just in love with this pack, in love with this style. If you have any build ideas that you would sort of like for me to give a go, if you want for me to try something, then definitely let me know in the comments. I was kind of thinking about maybe doing a wedding venue, maybe like a barn wedding venue, because I think with the items that come with this, it is just perfect for that. So all the different wall textures, I was just kind of going through them here, trying to figure out, I was like, I want to use this one, but I also want to use this one, and I want to use this one. And I was like, no, Taz, calm down, decide on what you want, like it's gonna be fine. But I ended up coming to, you will also, sorry, just realised, you will also see me go into, like, as if I'm uploading it to the gallery, that is just me checking how much money I have spent, basically, or how much it's showing up as on the gallery. So if you see me doing that, don't be alarmed, it is just me constantly checking that it does qualify to be a starter home. And also, something that I got reminded of there in the bathroom is that some of the base game wallpapers and base game floorings have been updated and new swatches have been added to that. So I realised that when I was putting the bathroom tile in on the floor, and I was like, wait a minute, this is like, I think it's one of the first or second base game swatches, and it's got many new swatches, sorry, the first or base game option that comes up, and there's loads of new swatches to choose from. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for some of those. And I think that's so good, and I love to see that the Sims team are going back to maybe, you know, some of the first wallpapers, some of the first objects that came out with base game that maybe they could have like added a bit more time into back then, but they then wanted to, you know, get different packs out. But it's nice to see that they're going back and adding new things, and whether it's adding swatches or changing things, or, you know, adding base game hairstyles in and different things like that. It's good to see that, you know, it's taken a fair few years, but it's good to see that they are putting that time in. So I do admire the hard work that they do put into their game. Now, this house does not have a television in it, because I think I was going to add one, and I was trying to figure out how to do this, because obviously this is the first room that your Sims come into. They open their door and then they are in this room, and it is quite a small room. I wanted to add like an area to sit down. I didn't know whether to do a dining room table, but then it wouldn't fit in there. I do end up doing a very small 1-tile table in the kitchen, because I wanted them to have a space to just sit down and be able to eat. And it's quite like a community family thing, and it's a nice thing to do. So I decided to do that in the kitchen. But in this first lounge living room area, we just added a sofa, we added a nice fireplace so they can sit, they can stay cozy down the fireplace. And I thought, you know what? This is a starter home, so if they do end up getting enough money to buy themselves a TV, then you can chop and change and you can add that. But for now, we've done that. And I did add a few bits and bobs to keep your Sims occupied. So they've got a bookcase, they can read their books and just chill. And obviously, if they're going to be working on a horse ranch, that is going to keep them very well occupied, and they won't need a TV when they're going to be mucking out the stables and doing all the different things and caring for their horses. They're not going to need to watch TV. So you can decide when you get this build off of the gallery if you would like to save up and get yourself a TV. And you know what? I'm saying all this when I literally thrive off of just leaving my Sims there to watch TV, especially like playing 100 baby challenge. TVs are great because when the kids come home and they're in bad moods, the TV helps in boosting their fun. But yeah, this is pretty much how the build ended up. So we've gone into first person camera mode now. So just showing the stables on the side, we've got all the landscaping around, and I was really happy with this, and I hope that you lot like it too. And you know, if you want to use it in your Chestnut Ridge world, then you are more than welcome to. It will be on my gallery, so check out Tazkabaz for that. But we come in and we're in our front room, which leads in through the archways into this very minimalistic kitchen. I didn't add a lot of clutter, which you know I normally would do, but we're on a budget here. So then we've got a bathroom over there and into a bedroom. I enjoyed bringing some stone into the bedroom as well, because that is the stone on the outside of the build, so I like sometimes bringing that into the build and just having a touch of that. So I hope that you enjoyed today's video. Let me know what you thought of the starter build in the comment section below. Don't forget to check out my other Horse Ranch expansion pack early access build, which is a video before this one, and also don't forget to check out my initial video where I am looking at every feature that came in this pack. Don't forget to subscribe as well and give this video a big thumbs up. Take care, look after yourselves. Taz out.